What is up, all my creative friends? I'm actually really excited because we have TallyWho Art back in the studio today to teach you and I how to paint a very simplistic nebula in acrylic paint. But you know what? You can also do this in oil. We went ahead and did you a favor and put links down to all the products and supplies that we use. But first, let's get into that intro before we get into the tutorial. Here we go. Shameless promotional plug for me before we start the tutorial. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and comment on this video. And if you have the chance to become one, make sure to become a YouTube channel member and follow me on my social media accounts. Subliminal messaging over, and I can't believe I nailed this actually in one take. Here we go. Can't believe I actually nailed that. We're gonna paint our nebula on a black canvas. You can use black acrylic or black gesso. Just cover the entire canvas and its sides and make sure it comes to a complete dry before you continue with the rest of the painting. The colors we're gonna use here to create our nebula are purple, red, and white. Start by adding dabs of your colors in random spots on your canvas. Put your colors in any order that you want. Just make sure when it comes to adding your white, add most of it to the outside of your other colors. This will help us shape our nebula and make it stand out later in the painting. Now we can start blending our colors together. Use a smaller brush here so you have more control. When you start blending your colors, we don't want to over blend. So make sure you start with small circle stipple strokes and small X strokes. Make sure to do your best to push and blend the colors from one corner of your canvas to the opposite corner. Again, this will help us shape our nebula, which you will see later in the tutorial. Take a clean, dry brush that is bigger and has more bristles. Any brush here will do, and start dry brush blending your colors. Don't worry about the shape, just kind of be loose and have fun with it. Again, this is gonna help you form the shape of your nebula. With a filbert brush and some white paint, start highlighting the inside of the nebula. Our light will be protruding from the center, so add the highlight here. For a tip for all of you out there, just pretend that you're kind of painting the tops of clouds here. This will help you form the crown and C shapes that you're going for. Now, lightly blend the white towards the outside of your canvas. Using a clean dry brush here is way easier, so I recommend using that. Also, be sure to leave that strong center of white. Don't blend it away and say it with me, because this is gonna help you shape your nebula. All right, so our nebula is starting to form. Now you can go back and add more purple, red, and white highlights to wherever you want inside the nebula. The red and purple will help build the body of the nebula, while the white actually helps build the shape of the nebula. Just make sure to add a little bit and build up, and don't overdo it on this step. Now, just repeat these steps until you get the shape and body that you want. To add more contrast to our nebula, just add a mixture of purple with a little bit of black in it next to the areas where you added your white highlights and lightly blend them in. This right here will really make your nebula stand out and pop. If you have any outside streaks that you just don't like, or maybe you got a little carried away on the blending, you can go over the outside edges of your nebula and cover it up with black. All right, time to add our cluster of stars. Take a mixture of white mixed with some water. Get it to a nice flowy state and dip your fan brush in it. Use your finger to flick on the white paint to create a star cluster effect. To enhance our nebula, we can actually take a dagger brush or angled shader and dip it in that same white paint mixture we just made. Now take that brush and add some white outlines to our nebula. Yes, it's okay to paint over your stars, and yes, it's okay to paint white on top of the other white outlines. And again, like I said, this is gonna help you shape your nebula. Now, if you want to take your nebula that you just painted to the next level, we can actually paint in some shining stars. Take that same angle shader or dagger brush and that same paint mixture and paint in some small lowercase t's and then lightly blend over them with a clean brush. Add one or two, or add as many as you want. It's your nebula, so have fun with it. Nebulas look intimidating, but they're really not. When it comes to painting any nebula, it's just painting simple layers and blending on top of them, and then adding some outside edges to really make them stand out. The best part about painting nebulas is no two really look alike. They always come out a little different. Plus, the best part is you can experiment and try new colors and new shapes and really play around with that contrast and make something spectacular, just like this painting here. Super shout out to my buddy TallyWho Art for knocking this one out of the park. This is a simple nebula that you can paint in acrylic or oil paint. It's fantastic, it's easy, it's step by step, and no joke, it's just the best tutorial because you have me narrating it. I mean, you know, simple soft flex there, but true. This is a great one to start with. If you want to see more tutorials from us, do us a favor, smash that subscribe button down below and let us know in the comment section what tutorial you want to see. But if you're really craving a tutorial to paint along with too, other than this awesome nebula, take a look at the video over to my side where you can see an awesome California sunset that is also easy to paint. I'll check you all later, take care, and of course, peace!